Well, good morning, everyone. And once again, welcome to another live this morning, and hope you're having a good start to your day. New week here. And Annette, you're the first one up. Rosalinda and John. Good morning and good week to you guys. Katharina and Brenda and Kevin. Good morning. Beth, how are you? We appreciate you guys. Brenda and Carrie. I remember Carrie. Derek, Barbara, Yolande. Bright and early this morning. Nick, good morning. From our staff, Morris, North Bay, Dell, and Mary Ellen, and Frida. Johnny, good morning to you. And Kim from Timmins, Ontario. Barbara, Nova Scotia. Annette and Hazel, St. John's, Newfoundland. We love you. Betty and Deb. And Lizzie. Good morning, Lizzie. Sharon. Oh, Sharon, how are you? Good morning to you. Say hello to Brian for me. Troy, Ann, Rita, and Catherine. Again from Newfoundland. Guys, this goes coast to coast, all around the world. And Beata, I like that. Linda, Newfoundland. Diney and Madeleine. How are you, Madeleine? Jeanette. Okay, let's get going. It's Kathy, Texas. Well, this isn't necessarily for you this morning, Kathy. We're going to talk about it's time to take your natural flu shot. The world's upside down, isn't it, guys? I know you guys know this. Nobody is talking about the immune system. It's almost like we don't have one. And we do. And I want to remind you, especially those who are living in Canada and the northern US of A, fall is here. And what does that mean? It means our levels of vitamin D, and because at the top of the list for your immune system, there's nothing like it. It's called vitamin D. We're going to go into a little bit of how to prepare your immune system, the natural flu shot, okay? Now, I don't know what happened to the flu, and I don't know what happened to colds, okay? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. No matter what's on the other side, guys, and what they're teaching. Look, I'm not going into that. I am only talking about you and building your immune system. Okay? So number one on the food chain is vitamin D. You all know that. If you've been listening to me, remember before the podcast, I had a radio show for 20 years. And when someone called me and say, "Oh, Doc, can we talk about vitamin C?" I said, "You mean coffee?" They said, "No, the vitamin C." I said, "Well, who cares about vitamin C for your immune system if you want to compare it to vitamin D? There's no comparison." And remember, that was 20 years ago. And, there was, Dr. Martin, you and your vitamin D and, taking away vitamin C and making coffee vitamin C, and you're a little bit of a crazy hoot owl. I said, I might be a little bit crazy, but I know I'm right about your immune system. Vitamin D is essential. And the more they study it, the more they realize that they miscalculated. Okay? They miscalculated because a couple of reasons. One, it was just bad math. That's number one. Bad math. It was almost like they put me in charge. Guys, I'd be still in high school if I had to be good in math. The only way that I know how to do any math, I'm showing you a calculator. I'm pretty good at this. But math, I was never good in math. I'd be still in high school. Okay? But they got the math wrong on vitamin D. They did. And the second reason is because even today, most physicians, not all, but most dietitians, vitamin D, well, it's for your bones, so most physicians won't even test for it. They don't even want to do your blood levels of vitamin D. Why do you want that for? Because it's the most important biomarker there is? I agree with that. Vitamin D, Tony Jr. classified it years ago as a biomarker for everything. I said, son, you're like your mother. You're very smart. And that's true. It's a biomarker. And yet you almost have to bring physicians and have their teeth drilled without an anesthetic to get them to test vitamin D. And then our real smart government, I don't know, 10 years ago, at least in Ontario, they won't pay for it. It's only for osteoporosis. Ooh. And here's the truth. You just can't get enough vitamin D from food. That you can't. It's in first of all, vitamin D is only in the animal kingdom when you eat eggs, meat, and cheese, okay? But you can't get just enough, okay, from food. I guess if you're like the Inuit way up north, you eat enough cod liver oil, they get enough vitamin D. But the rest of us, we don't get enough vitamin D. When in the absence of sun, Viderma. I gave myself an award for calling vitamin D Viderma. Okay? It is the shot that you want. Vitamin D, Viderma. I know you guys all like that. I love that. Viderma. The sun. You know what the problem is? I was thinking about this morning because I'm an early riser. And it's dark. Not like in the summer. You get up at 5:30 in the morning, the birds are singing, and the sun's up. Not anymore, it ain't. As the sun diminishes, you're not getting enough vitamin D from the sun, okay? You're not sunbathing, half naked, with your arms and legs exposed. You're not getting enough vitamin D for your immune system. It is now time to supplement. It's now time to supplement. For some people, yours truly, I don't take vitamin D so much in the summer. I am getting a fair amount of sun. I'm really good at that. I don't burn in the sun, but I get a lot of sun, and I make sure I sunbathe. Any day that the sun is out, I'm sunbathing it. I do. But I'm going to give you a statistic. 90% of the population in North America have low levels of vitamin D. Their immune system's not going to work properly. And not only for the flu and for colds, for cancer. Vitamin D is not just a vitamin. It's a messenger. It sends out messages to your DNA. It's a hormone. And I don't want to say I told you so, but I told you so. I have been consistent, screaming like John the Baptist in the wilderness that people are not getting enough vitamin D. They're scared, skinny. To my friends this morning in Texas, to my friends in Florida, to my friends in Arizona, get in the sun. Don't be scared. For every patient, okay, this is statistics from the Vitamin D Council. For every person that gets skin cancer, okay, because that was the narrative. Started in the 60s. Skin cancer. The 70s. Johnson & Johnson. Gonna put sunscreen on and put not sunscreen. That isn't even strong enough. You want sunblock. My head was exploding. The sun. You need it. I always said the waiting rooms are not full in the hospitals. People dying. Oh, you know why you're dying? Because you got too much vitamin D. It's the opposite. You would empty the hospitals. Just about. But for every person that was, getting skin cancer, and look, I don't want anybody to get cancer. I don't want anybody to get, basal cell or squamous cell carcinoma. I don't want that. That's too much sun. That's burning in the sun. But melanoma, the deadly cancer, the deadly skin cancer, it's not sun-related. And I know that is a hard pill for a lot of people to swallow. But it isn't, because the facts are melanoma the deadly skin cancer hits people that are office workers. It's people that work indoors, not outdoors. That's just a fact, guys. I know a lot of people. I wrote about that 20 years ago in some of my books. The statistics were out, but it was not part of the narrative. So if it isn't part of the narrative, people don't hear the truth about that. But that's melanoma, guys. Melanoma is, here's what I know it is, okay? This is just Dr. Martin telling you what I know it is. It's an autoimmune type of cancer, melanoma. It starts in the gut. I know, I don't want to get into that. I can tell you my thinking on it because I've analyzed it over the years and looked at true statistics, and it was people that stayed out of the sun that get melanoma. And for every person, by the way, just on melanoma, for every person that dies from melanoma, 250 people die from a lack of vitamin D. Quoting the Vitamin D Council. Guys, you know why the vitamin D research is so good and is so trustworthy? Think about it for a minute. Why is the research on vitamin D so, well, it's not only revealing, why is it so accurate? There's no fudging the numbers of vitamin D. You know why? Because nobody's making any money on it. There's no pharmaceutical company making money on vitamin D. They can't patent the sun. So you hear, even in Canada, our health minister, this should have been the biggest story in the last 18 months. It should have been the biggest, but it wasn't. And that is, one, people that were hospitalized during the last 18 months were extremely low, 80% in vitamin D. Extremely low. Oh, that's a biomarker. And here's our health minister. That's fake news. You couldn't even bring it up in Parliament here in Canada. And I'm sure, who's talking about it in the United States? As a therapeutic, as a prevention. It should be on the top of the list. What are they talking about now? Ivermectin or whatever it's called? An anti-parasitic medication? It's a therapeutic, and there's a lot of controversy. Yeah, there's a lot of controversy. There shouldn't be, but there is. Because it doesn't go with the narrative. And this is news, guys, behind the news, okay? I'm just bringing you behind the scenes and let you think for yourself. But guys, you can't have a strong immune system without vitamin D. It activates. It's a messenger. Your little T cells that are your lymphatic, come out of your lymphatics. Your T cells, your Navy SEALs of your immune system, they don't work properly without vitamin D. They just don't. So I'm going to tell you this and tell you this and tell you this. It's got to be on the top of the list. It's fall. Soon to be winter. In Northern Ontario, we only get 2 seasons. 2 weeks of summer and winter. Okay? We love it. We love punishment. But you folks in those southern states, ooh, that stay out of the sun, ooh, drives me mental. Guys, it's just the way it is, okay? Just the way it is. People ask me, how much vitamin D? Well, look, I cannot tell you individually what you should take for vitamin D. So don't ask me. I won't tell you. I'm going to tell you what the Vitamin D Council recommends. Okay? They make recommendations. And they're recommending, on average, a near 10,000 IUs a day. Now, again, if you bring me to court, I'll deny I ever met you. Because you got to understand what I'm saying. I'm just putting it out there, what the Vitamin D counsels, 10,000 IUs a day. What do you want your vitamin D levels to be at? If you do get the dehydroxy, and can I make a recommendation? If you have to pay for the test, I recommend once or twice a year, get into your pocket and give some cash to the lab. Whatever that is, $30, $50, I can't, depends what they're charging. But I do recommend that if it's the only way you get that test done, pay for it. It is worth it. It is worth it. There's probably not a more important biomarker in blood that you should test. You know me. I love triglycerides. I love HDL. I like looking at A1C. I love looking at CRP, which is your inflammation markers. You send me 20 pages of blood work. I'm looking for those. Okay? Don't come back to me and go, what did you think of? I said, well, if I didn't put anything down when I sent you back my looking at your blood work, my comments, because I'm not interested. Okay? You can't make me. I'm not. And I don't take it personally. I'm just not interested. I don't care about half the blood tests they do. They don't mean nothing to me. I'm looking at certain biomarkers in your blood. That tells me the huge story. Okay? And I have a little secret equation that I won't tell you. How I look at even the thyroid. It's an equation, not just with thyroid testing, by the way. But I won't tell it to you because it's a trade secret. I learned it years ago, how to look at a thyroid test, but you need other, I'm not going into it, okay? Because I'm not telling you. I have not shared that secret with anyone. And I mean that, except Junior. Okay? I can tell if your thyroid's working properly by looking at a couple of different numbers. Now, so what's on the top as you get ready to build your immune system at this time of the year? What's on top? Vitamin D, hormone D, messenger D, solar panel D is on the top. Numero duo, number 2 on the chart, probiotics. Yep, probiotics. Different strains do different things. We talked about that. Well, we talked about it a lot on different programs. And by the way, let me come back to vitamin D just for a minute, because I was just thinking, what do I like in terms of numbers? If you live in the US of A, you're going to, numbers I look for are minimum 50 up to 100. Okay? 50 up to 100. And if you're above 50, it's a good sign. I like 60, optimizing vitamin D. And in Canada, I like minimum 125, minimum 125 into the 200, even 250 range. That's the range. That's a pretty broad range, but again, that's what I like. If you're under 125, you got extremely low vitamin D levels in Canada. And I like it 150, 200 in that area there to optimize your vitamin D. Okay? So, number 2, probiotics. Healthy gut, healthy everything. Your microbiome, more of your immune system is found in that gut than almost anywhere else. And it depends on the war that's going on in there between your good and your bad bacteria, called your microbiome. You want that to be healthy. And you want that little lining of your epithelial cells that make up that little lining between your gut and your blood, the gut-blood barrier. And you need to have a healthy lining, which is made up of bacteria. It's made up of cells. And there's nothing that will destroy that lining like sugar does. Like sugar does. So if you want a healthy immune system, you need vitamin D, you need probiotics, broad spectrum probiotics. And number 3, food, you need to cut your sugars out. Do not feed the bears inside that gut of yours if you want to have a healthy immune system. Don't feed the yeast. Yeast doesn't need food. Starve it to death. And it's a teenager. It only likes sugar. Okay, got that? So the third one on the hit parade is probiotics. The 4th is cut out sugar. You want a good immune system? Cut out sugar. Cut out and add. Cut out sugar. And I want you to eat vitamin S. That's number 4. What? Vitamin S, steak. Why? Because vitamin S has vitamin A. You don't get vitamin A from carrots. You don't. You get vitamin A from vitamin S, steak. And cod liver oil too, fish. It's in the animal kingdom. It's a fat-soluble vitamin, vitamin A. It's pro-retinol A. It's found in eggs, meat, and cheese. Eat your vitamin A. Why? Because vitamin A gives you a real mask. It's invisible, but vitamin A it literally, this is unreal what it does for your immune system. Vitamin A protects your eyes, your nose, your mouth from viruses and bacteria. The real mask. God always wants you to wear a mask. The invisible one. I told somebody the other day. Just a young girl, you know. Put your mask on. I said, I wear it every day. She said, I can't see it. Well, it's invisible. She's looking at me like I had two heads on. Okay? I said, I do wear a mask. It's invisible. It's vitamin A. And she looked, she didn't know what I was talking about. I shouldn't do that. She was just doing her job. You know what I mean? Like, I felt sorry for her, but I thought I'd give her a little bit of an education on vitamin A. I said, I always wear my mask. Every time I eat steak, I get vitamin A. And by the way, guys, okay, just by the way, vitamin D, you can't eat enough to get it. Okay? You just can't. Okay? Probiotics, you can't eat enough yogurt to get what you really need. So you need, in this time of the year especially, supplements. Okay? People say, oh, doc, you don't need supplements. Well, you do. You do, because you're not getting enough vitamin D in food. You're not going to get enough probiotic in food. I know they're in food, in fermented foods and all that. I love those things, by the way. But you need more than that to get a healthy immune system. And the negative thing in food is cut out sugars as much as you can. Out. And you need vitamin A. Well, where's that found? In the animal kingdom. Eggs, meat, and cheese. See, I would rather you eat vitamin A than to take a supplement of it. Okay? Some things you can eat. You know what else is in vitamin S steak? Not only vitamin A, but zinc. Now, I'm not big on taking zinc on its own. I'm not. You don't hear me talking about vitamin Z, or what do you call it in the States? Z? No, Z. Okay? It's Z in Canada. Okay? But all I'm saying is, I'm not big. I like, if you know me, if you're, you know, I put zinc in our prostate formula. I put zinc in blood boost because I'm boosting. There's several reasons for my blood boost. And prostate formula, zinc is good, you know, but I never, here's a zinc. I don't do that with people. People ask me, how much zinc should I take? Well, how many steaks are you planning on eating? Because you can get zinc in food. It's in the animal kingdom. How many times do I have to tell you? Plants don't have vitamin A, and they don't have zinc, and they don't have vitamin D either. I rest my case with people. I said, okay, give me proof, Dr. Martin, they want. I said, well, think about it. Common sense. Is vitamin D in the plant kingdom? No. Is vitamin A in the plant kingdom? No, a precursor is. Beta-carotene, it's a precursor, but it's not vitamin A. And zinc is not in plants. So people say, well, my daughter's a vegetarian and she's telling me how smart she is. She's misinformed. And, it's your daughter. I get it. Your granddaughter or whatever. It's indoctrination. It's religion, folks. It ain't the truth. You need vitamin A when you eat vitamin S. You get it in eggs, meat, and cheese. And you get zinc too. Because I'm not big, like even if you look at my formulas, I have a formula of vitamin A. Nah, I don't do that. Because you can eat it. If you can eat it, eat it. Okay? Eat it. So those are the things I love. By the way, I got to do one more. Oil of oregano. It's time for oil of oregano. Now, I use oil of oregano all year round. Okay? Oil of oregano, if you ever meet anybody that sells oil of oregano, tell them to send me a check because they owe me. I put oil of oregano on the map on my radio show. They owe me money. No, I love oil of oregano. Whenever you talk about something that is a natural antiviral, natural antibiotic, natural antifungal, does not, listen to what I'm going to say, does not kill your friendly bacteria. It is nature's antibiotic. It doesn't kill your good guys. It only kills the bad guys. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Isn't that something? Oil of oregano. Don't leave home without it. And I love it in a spray. Okay, for me, I like to spray my toothbrush. Spray and pray. I like sinus formula. Because remember, when you get a bug, you get a virus or whatever, they go in your eyes. Like what are you going to do? Put a mask on your eyes? That's why I like vitamin A, but that's why I like oil of oregano. Yep, that's me. There's your little kit. Or you got your kit for your flu season, although there probably won't be one this year, if you know what I mean. Anyways. Okay, guys. Did you have fun today? You guys are great. Thanks so much. Prepare now. It's the season. It's the season. So get ready. So this week, we got some good things we want to share with you. The news behind the health news. We're going to look at, we always go into depth. We're always going to do some teaching here. And we appreciate you guys coming on. And you know what we really appreciate too is that you are the feedback we get. We love that, especially on the private Facebook group. And we thank you for the reviews that we get. Incredible. Incredible. The reviews on the reset. Incredible. We thank you for that. So don't be shy. Give us feedback. Okay? And if you can't, your friends or whatever, what I'm really promoting, look, you can share the Facebook, share it. If you share it, the algorithms, don't even ask me what that means, okay? I don't know anything. My son tells me that the algorithms that Facebook uses, that's why we have such a popular Facebook, because today's podcast, we had probably, what do we have? 500 just about on live with us this morning. That goes to 2,000 within about an hour or less. Then it goes to 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 every day. So that's one way. And the other way is podcast. The doctor is in podcast. I was showing a few people yesterday on my phone. Yeah. You're never a prophet in your hometown. Didn't Jesus say that? Okay. So the podcast, the doctor is in podcast. Okay. Okay, guys. We love you and we love you dearly. And I mean that, and we'll see you soon.